fancy.
Nope. All right, so we are live. What's up, Julie? What's up, everyone? How are you doing? How are you doing, Julie? How's it going?
Hi, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing okay. I know we got our thing pushed back from yesterday, but
Yes.
doing great.
Oh,
Um,
that was
Ready
mine.
to talk turtles.
Just wait. I'm just going to. You see, good thing I. No, it's good. So if I get a call, sorry everyone. So yeah, well, that's the things that happen when you're live streaming, but that's the
For
fun
sure.
part of it. It's just us here and talking about a great movie and a great book adaptation. So we can't wait to talk about that. So yeah, what's up YouTube? What's up everyone? I'm back for another video. So today we have a live stream. Yesterday we had the live stream for Uzumaki, which was an anime, and we're going to come back this Sunday. So by the way, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support. I know a lot of people came after the stream to watch it. Thank you so much. I'm going to put our reaction probably tomorrow. I'm working on that because today I had to work on this live stream and I couldn't wait. So I present to you guys Julie, who is a booktuber, and it's so nice to have a booktuber here. It's the first time on the channel that we have a booktuber, and it's not the last time that Julie is going to be here. That's for sure. So Julie, would you like to present yourself to everyone? Like, tell us who are you, where they can find you, and yeah, tell us who you are, Julie.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, as you said, I'm Julie. I am a bookstagrammer, booktuber, general book content person. I've been doing bookstagram for many years, a little bit newer to booktube, and I read a ton of books. I've been a reader ever since I was little. I read just about everything, mostly fiction. And I'm also a little bit of a film nerd, so I love analyzing book to movie adaptations. When I was in fifth grade, I broke down everything that was wrong with the Percy Jackson movie because I loved the book
Ooh.
so much. So I'm big
Oh,
into
okay.
book to movie adaptations. So this was a perfect opportunity to me. So thank you, Jason, for inviting me. But I am at Julie's underscore reading on YouTube. And if you'd like to find me on Bookstagram, I'm at bujo.books. And yeah, I am ready to talk turtles because I have been a fan of John Green for going 10 years now, more than
Oh
10
wow, okay.
years.
All right.
So I am well versed in this universe.
All right. Well, that's nice. Thank you so much for introducing yourself, Julie. So I'm just usually when we start the live stream, we kind of wait a little bit for people to join and everything. But yeah, so I'm going to take this opportunity to say, well, as for me, so okay, so this was interesting because growing up, I didn't like to read a lot of books. I was more into watching than reading, right? So I was more of that kind of artistic, like yeah, that was my medium of art. But later on, like especially in high school, well, you didn't have a choice to read. Funny enough, I never liked the books that they because when you impose someone a book, I kind of don't like that. When I go and discover myself a book, that's where I'm like, oh, the passion goes there. Like I can finish a book maybe like in 1 week, and it's a big book. But sometimes like a small book, at least for me at high school, right?
Yeah.
I remember small books like it took me like forever to finish it. I'm like, oh, and sometimes I didn't finish it. I just watch a resume. So I'm sorry, Julie. I know I was a
It's
bad student. Sorry.
I think a great teacher makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There was one book in particular that we read in high school that I had one teacher, and like everybody else that I knew had a different teacher. And the book was Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, which is a fantastic book about the beginning of colonialism in Africa.
Okay.
And it is everybody who did not have my teacher hated that book with a
Really?
burning
Wow.
passion, and everyone who had my teacher really grew an appreciation for it. So like yeah, learning like books in a school environment can be so hit or miss because you are directed in a very specific way. But like when you
Yeah.
have a teacher who lets you go free reign and like really discuss like what's important about it, it's different. But like I have always been a reading for fun person ever since
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could physically read. So it's just glad I've been able to keep up with it now that I'm older. But
That's honestly like it's been some years now that I'm really more into books, and the more and more I'm seeing what I've missed a little bit, but the more and more, yeah, as you said, the teacher really influenced it because I remember, first of all, so the teachers I had usually they impose something already, and it's usually like the history of Canada ish and blah blah, which I don't mind. It's just like when you when you've been growing up your whole life and that's what you've been reading, it's like at one point like can I read something else? I don't know. Can I
Yeah,
read? I don't know. And so I had this teacher that was the idea was better. Like she used to say, okay, go to the library. I already picked some books, like let's say 20 books. Problem is, like, again, like the 20 books, it's like they're fine, but I don't know. It's not that, like, I had this teacher that he was really nice. He was like, I want you guys to go and search like for a book that inspires you. Like, I'm not gonna ask you really. Like, I want you to initiate yourself into knowing yourself what you like, and that's where I knew I love everything that's book related to I don't know, like a crime scenes. Like Agatha Christie
yeah.
or things like that. So I'm like, oh, those are my gems. Those are my sweet spots. So yeah, I've been reading some of those, and I really loved it. So yeah,
What's been your favorite book you've read recently?
recently, I don't know if it's my favorite book, but I'm actually a bit enjoying it. I know she's kind of controversial. It's a Colleen Hoover. Remember, I talked to you about it ends with.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I have it here. Wait. Yeah, so I went to buy it because yeah, I did watch the movie. I didn't know nothing about the movie. I hope I think there's material enough to do the second one. I know right now there's a feud and everything. I'm not gonna go into that, but to be
yeah,
honest, I can't lie. I would lie if I say I don't. I'm not enjoying this. Like I am because I'm comparing a lot to the movie, so it's kind of interesting.
yeah.
So yeah, maybe if I would have read this before watching the movie, maybe my approach would have been different. Which now I understand why people are saying she kind of romanticized a little bit. I'm like, yeah, there's a stretch line there, but anyway, it's not. To,
There's
I don't want to go
yeah,
there with Colleen,
I
but yeah,
think
I understand that.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's I think the people really more have problems with Colleen, specifically her other titles. And then this book, she kind of tries to go in like a different approach and like
yeah,
actually discussing serious subject matter and in a way that is actually personal to her real life.
yeah.
And I think that plot specifically is done well. However, content warnings and like shelving it in the right place, like should this book be shelved in the romance shelf?
Yeah,
No.
that's the thing. It's
Absolutely
crazy.
it should
Why is
not.
it a romantic story? I'm like, this is not romantic, man. This is
Absolutely not. It's bad. And then like I wasn't a fan. Basically, the other plots surrounding the main one, I was just kind of like, honestly, okay. Let me one minor complaint about
yeah.
it.
Go
And
ahead, go ahead. No worries, no worries. Anyway, we're letting
this
people
girl
come. We're
opens.
already
Okay, we are ready with people, but
to Mauricio. Love your hearts. Thank you so much for joining. And this is my good friend Luke Ponto as well. What's up?
no.
Hope all. Yes, we are. We are. He's dope Ponto. So go ahead. Sorry, Julie. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. The one little complaint about It Ends With Us, she buys a storefront for a flower shop before having a business plan.
Yeah, I know. Well,
What kind of rich money do you have? Money that I don't have.
that's
That's
called
money I don't
adventurous. I don't know. That's supposed to be adventurous. I mean, even in the movie, I think they kind of established that a bit better though. But yeah,
have.
but yeah, this is what I've been reading lately. By the way, for the people on the chat, by the way, we're five. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Don't forget, by the way, to like and don't forget to like and share because we're gonna have a nice book discussion here. So if you're a fan of books, by the way, don't hesitate to tell your recommendations or to ask Julie for recommendations. She's the perfect person to tell you recommendations for any genre of books that you like.
I
So
read just
yeah,
about
so
everything, but I will try my best.
yeah, I mean, we're in good hands here. We're in good hands. But yeah, so that's what I've been reading so far. But I know Julie doesn't stop there because one thing I love about Julie's videos, she likes to cook, and boy, I gotta say, some of those recipes look fantastic. Like, I mean, some of them, like, I can't do this. Like, for sure, I'm not gonna be able to do this. But some of them, like, I know can recreate, which I'm pretty sure it's not gonna taste the same. So, yeah,
Oh, I
I
got
love
you.
to cook, but I don't know if
I
I don't know
the
if I'm
last video I had there's an Olive Garden gnocchi copycat soup and chai sugar cookies. Those were the two of my last
yeah,
video, and I
that looked good. I'm like,
two of my
oh,
favorites. I can
that's so
absolutely
cozy.
send you a link.
That's so cozy. I'm like, oh, that's so cozy. Reading
Very.
book while eating and everything. And also, I think you went to how you call it? Like you went on vacation, right?
Yeah, I went out
Yeah.
to Western North Carolina, which unfortunately this last week a lot of that area is really flooded. So
Oh my god,
uh,
really? What?
yeah, that was the hurricane hit the area that we were
Oh,
at.
oh,
So
yeah.
glad we went there. Thoughts going out to the people that are out there right now. I know some people in the Asheville area.
Oh,
But
that,
yeah,
yeah.
it was a really good time. But yeah,
Yeah, I understand. Well, luckily nothing happened to you. At least luckily for that.
I'm
But
good. I
yeah,
am not in that area, so I'm all
but
fine.
sending support to the people who are there.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, yeah, I know. Like it's yeah, yeah. There's some a lot of circumstances like around the world, and it's kind of it always sucks that we can do like a lot of things at least like visit
yeah.
directly. What I'm saying. So yeah, but but yeah, on another note, like another note more happier. I also know that you love to play Switch. You're a gamer a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I guess I've had my Switch for a couple of years. I don't know how long I've had that. A couple of years now. I like didn't touch it in college at all, but since I've
Okay.
graduated, I've been trying to like
Nice.
go through my backlog of games. I'm still working on Breath of the Wild. I accidentally
Okay.
put it
Okay.
down
Nice.
for an entire year. I looked at it, my save file was from June 2023. I was like,
Wow.
"What?" So that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay. Okay. I see. Me. So I don't know if I told this story. So not to brag, but I won my Switch like 2 years ago, and I was so happy. Like that was
No
incredible.
way.
Yes, yeah, I went to a Pokemon. So it was so funny. Okay, I went to a Pokemon concert, because I love Pokemon, and I was like, yeah, why not? Let's go to these instrumental concerts. You know, I've never been to it. And I always see Hans Zimmer. What's the name of this guy? John Williams, who does Star Wars,
Yes, yes.
Indiana Jones, and blah blah. And I'm like, I keep missing all of them. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's time to finally get out of your comfort zone and let's go. Yeah, why not Pokemon? Like I love Pokemon. I don't know all of the Pokemon themes, but why not? So I went to this Pokemon concert. It was really nice. By the way, shout out to GOV. That's the Pokemon concert I went. It's called it's in French, Orchestre de Jeux Vidéo, which means Orchestra of Video Games. And yeah, it was really fun. And in the mid section, like the break, they say, "Oh, by the way, we have a like you can go buy some tickets to have chance to participate in our in the things we're gonna give. So we're going to give a Nintendo Switch." I was like, "What? Nintendo Switch? What? Like that's crazy. What? Nintendo Switch?"
Yeah,
So there was a Nintendo Switch. The second prize, which was probably the best, was some pixel arts, which I know that can cost some money, you know, pixel arts. And the other one was like the CDs of a band in Canada that I don't know them necessarily, but basically it's like a Canadian band that they really take a lot of, especially for Pokemon. They're mostly known for Pokemon, but they do Skyrim and stuff like that. So they
mhm,
do they sing, you know, they do some
yeah,
covers. And the last thing was like some toys or whatever. So of course, like when the guy so basically, so yeah, I had to buy my tickets. I bought 3 tickets. Like people were buying like 40 tickets. I just bought
yeah,
3, and I was so lucky to be picked. But once you get picked, you have to go on stage and you have to play Pokemon Stadium. And one that finishes first has the first pick. So the guy was telling me, "Oh, do you want some pixel art? Well, you know, it's blah blah." And he was laughing because like, "Bro, why would I take pixel art? I'm just gonna take a Switch." I'm like, "I don't even have a Switch. I'm gonna take a Switch. I'm sorry, man." So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
but guess
To be
what?
the
Like
best at Pokemon to do it.
I know, but guess what? Like the problem is like, so when I once I got my Switch, I never played it until like 1 year later. Like I really opened it 1 year because I didn't have time, and also I didn't have like games.
Yeah,
And yeah, so it took me a while. I just have 2 games. I have a Super Smash and oh, actually I picked yeah, Sakuna. With maybe
mhm.
this one you will like it, Sakuna of Rice and Ruins. This one, like, so basically it's like
Okay,
it's
I
an
recognize the
RPG
art of
style.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like an RPG thing, but also like you have to cultivate the rice and everything. Kind of reminds me a little bit of what's the Animal Crossing? I think it's
Animal
the name.
Crossing. Yep,
Yeah.
I have the
So.
Animal Crossing Switch and Animal Crossing.
Oh,
I was
really? Okay.
I have it more because those are my favorite colors than like actually Animal Crossing, but I started playing Animal Crossing like a couple months ago and
Damn.
it's
It's
super
addictive,
cute.
huh? Yeah, I have
Yeah,
to buy it. Like I think that's something I would love to play right now. So here
yeah,
I have a friend called Roberto. I know him. And yes, it is true. It's been 2 weeks. He has a Switch, and this guy, I told him come and play with us Super Smash. I don't know if
yeah.
you know what Super Smash is, right? Super Smash Brother. Yeah. So and the guy's like, yeah, but I'm not too good, but I'm gonna play with us. Yo, the guy was so good. In 2 weeks, I'm like, bro, you're so good. He's like, I need some practice. I'm like, bro, I need some practice now. So yeah. But yeah. So that was the history with Switch. So yeah, so you see Julie's not only talking about books, she talks about a lot of stuff that she likes as well. So yeah. And with that
Yeah,
said, Julie, would you like to start with the first thing I wanted to talk? It's the quick thoughts about all the way turtles all the way down. So so yeah, would you like to start, like, once you finish the movie, like what were your first impressions, and without spoilers for sure. Now it's a no
yeah.
spoiler section, then we'll talk about spoilers.
I'll do quick little synopsis of the movie if you
Yeah.
have not seen it yet for this
Oh yeah,
non-spoilery
thank you. Yeah.
section. Asa Holmes is a high school junior in Indianapolis, and she has been struggling with OCD for a lot of her life, which is the lived experience of the author of the book. And she has a best friend, Daisy, who's very loud and outgoing when she's very reserved, and that causes some tension in their relationship when she is in these thought spirals that her OCD is taking her away from her life. And there is a boy from her past whose father's a billionaire and has gone missing, and there is a warrant for anybody who can find any information about him. So her and her friend Daisy are trying to find this missing billionaire, as Asa is trying to figure out what to do with her OCD, as she's kind of ignoring her problems. So this movie, I think that this was a really interesting production. I was really worried that this movie wasn't even going to happen after it was filmed because of COVID, like the lining up of everything happening. But this movie does a lot of interesting things trying to show the inner workings of Aza's mind,
Yeah.
because on the page it's easy for you to go with the character's train of thought, but in a movie you have to show how like scary her mind is. And I think that the director did a really good job of putting like interstitial things into getting the audience into her shoes.
That's really great. Yeah. Actually, you said it right. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, it's exactly like how I it's exactly the resume. Yeah. So I heard that this movie was actually produced by like Century Fox, and then when Disney bought it, that's where they had like a little problem there, and also when COVID came, that didn't help it either. And then
Yeah.
hopefully we got it on Max. So yeah, it's so for me, well, first of all, thank you for sharing your thoughts. For me, so all right, so there's an actress I really love recently, and she's Isabela Merced. I know her.
Yes.
Well, I know her. It's a big thing. I discovered this actress in the Instant Family. I don't know if you watched that movie.
I have
Um,
not.
so that was like probably her first breaking role hit, at least for that, as far as I know. And then she's been doing like other movies that I really enjoyed her. So I really enjoyed her every time she was there, right?
Hmm.
And then so that was like the motivation for me to watch this movie. But honestly, I didn't know anything about this movie. I didn't even know it was about like OCD, nothing. Like, to be honest, at first you're gonna find me funny, but I really thought it was something about turtles or something. I'm like, oh, that's cute, you know. Which at the end of the day, the theory about the turtles all the way down kind of reflects that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I really didn't know what I was going to go with. You know, like it was really something like I didn't know at all. And boy, I was so glad. Like this, first of all, Isabella Merced really did a fantastic job. Like as an actress, she and I think her name is Dree, the her co-star, or Dree, I
I
think.
is Chi, is it Chi, Chee? I think I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe. I'm sorry, by the way. CREE. It's CREE.
Cree. Okay, we were both wrong.
Chichino. Yeah. Yeah, CREE. So yeah, so I think like both of them, first of all, like they really carried the movie. Like this movie of course is not for everyone. Like this is kind of a sensitive matter, you know. But I wouldn't say that I would highly recommend you to watch it, especially to motivate you to watch this, because I mean, like, yes, it is true, like, unfortunately, during time we've been always like, for example, like I didn't know really about OCD. Like it wasn't really something that I knew too much. So it was really nice to see this, because I'm like, okay, now I understand more. Like, what if like I encounter someone who has OCD? You know, now I like, you know, like when you don't know, it's kind of hard to. You could easily judge someone, and with movies like this, you know, like this is what allows you to don't don't go ahead and judge immediately. Maybe try to understand, and
Yeah,
this is like, and this is things that help you to understand the world that we live in, and people that and everyone have the same, should be treated as the same respect. And this
yeah,
movie really really show me that. And it was so sad, like, to see like how a person with OCD was really struggling in their personal life and everything. So I thought it was portrayed so well. And yeah, I really fell in love with this movie. So yeah,
that's
for
great.
me for
Yeah,
me
it's
this was the win.
yeah. I think it does. This was so. As I mentioned before, John Green has OCD. He has other like anxiety, depression type mental health concerns, but OCD is something that like he hadn't really written about before. And this, like, was he ever going to publish this book, was a question, because it was um, something that was really difficult for him to talk about. And so that's kind of like, you see like him putting like a separation between him and the character being like a teenage girl versus like a guy. But the and then like the making of this movie, he talks about how it was like draining to have to like discuss his mental health all the time, but that ultimately the point of this book and the movie by extension is, being a light for people who have OCD, to see that like they're not alone, as that their
Yeah,
experience, their now is not their forever, as the book and movie say. And also that that also, like you said, showing people who don't live with OCD how it can actually feel, because there are people who are like, oh, I like having my desk organized in a neat way, I'm so OCD. Like, that's
yeah,
not the compulsive obsessive disorder that people have, that actually takes them away from their lives, and is a detractor to their relationships and just their quality of life. And how I in this book does the book and the movie, I think, do a good job of like showing how it's important to reach out for help
yeah,
and actually um like go with treatments. And yeah, something might not work, but that doesn't mean that nothing will ever work, and that people with mental health conditions can't live happy, fulfilling lives in the future.
yeah. No, yeah, exactly. I think it. Well, before I continue, there are some people in the chat. All right, so this is one. So I have So I talk about football too on my channel, and recently I've met this Argentinian guy. So of course he talks in Spanish. So, by the way, I speak Spanish as well, and I don't have the opportunity to speak Spanish usually on YouTube. So I'm like, yeah, why not? So I went to his channel. We mostly talk in Spanish there. So so they're hopping into this stream. So thank you guys. He's saying, "What are you doing?" By the way, do you speak Spanish, Julie? Yeah, you do. Huh?
I took Latin in high school.
Oh, Latin. Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
it's
Latin. Do you still
different.
remember or a little?
Minime. Minime.
That's cool.
I,
So yeah, he's saying, with who are you? Con quién estás means with who are you? So I'm with Julie. She's a booktuber. Habla de libros. She talks about books. Yeah, he said I don't understand us. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I understand that. I don't know. Maybe like in the future, I'm gonna try to have like, I don't know, like probably it's with paid version when you can have like translators, like it can translate. I don't know
closed
how you do
caption
this.
stuff.
Like I'm really trying to. I'm kind of new on StreamYard. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Usually I go to like I get invited, but I never host those. Like it's rare. I think this is my third time I host like one literally like on my channel. So I'm
Yeah.
still learning a little bit. So he said it's kind of weird to listen to in English. Yeah, probably because like they're so used to hearing me in Spanish. And the same thing here. Like the other time I there was someone who actually asked me, "Can you translate this?" So I translated, and the guys that were with me, they were like, "Whoa, it's so weird to listen to in another language." I'm like,
No,
"I
your
know it's
voices totally change when you speak another language. It's
I
really
know."
weird.
Me or like in general?
In general. In
Yeah, yeah,
general.
exactly. It is true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, but it's like that. So he said. Yeah, exactly. He said, I saw you with Matias. That's the name of the Argentinian guy. By the way, shout out to Matias. Yeah, I always listen to you in Spanish. So, yeah. So he said, I'm going to be in the chat. I gave you a like. Thank you so much. By the way, thank you so much for that. That really helps a lot. By the way, go subscribe to Julie. probably one day, or maybe she's gonna have a, yeah, I think YouTube has the automatic translator where if you do a
Yeah,
video in English, like they can see it in Spanish. So yeah, if you're
there.
into that, man.
Yeah, I don't know how good the closed captioning is for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but at least it's better than nothing. It's better
Yes.
than, yeah, your own interpretation. Yeah, so I don't know. In their chat, they always say Xenon. I have no idea what that is. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, if you want, man, exit. And this is my co-host of the Tea Party podcast, Toby. Couldn't sleep, so of course I gotta hop in here. What's up, yo? What time is it there? So he's from Norway, by the way. So it's like 6 hours, dude. It's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. probably there. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, Toby usually stays like at 3 a.m. So I don't. Are you, by the way, an early bird, Julie, or mostly a night owl?
I stay up late. But working a, regular desk job has forced me to wake up earlier than I like, and I'm fighting
Okay.
a constant battle with caffeine because I need to stay awake, but I have kind of I have a very low tolerance for things that keep you awake. So
Okay.
I'm just like, I have a cup of coffee and I'm going to have heart palpitations at like 11 p.m.
Oh my god.
It's
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh man.
so much. It's so much.
Yeah, that's a lot. Damn caffeine. Like, I usually take some tea. Like I don't know. Like tea really helps me to stay
I've been
awake.
doing chai lattes lately. I've
Yeah.
I've I've been hoping that that makes a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
chai.
Yeah, yeah. I think there. Last time I got chai latte, it was so good. It was so good. So yeah, it's yeah, they're good. But yeah, me too. Like I'm mostly of a night owl. When I have to wake up in the morning, I kind of hate it, but I have to for work
Yeah,
or school stuff like that. So yeah. But thank you so much,
gotta
Toby,
get
for
paid.
being here. By the way, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much for giving the likes. I'm seeing that we have some likes, so thank you so much for that. But everyone who's joining, don't forget the like. That really helps a lot. The stream, people will see us more and more. I saw actually we were like 7 at one point, so thank you so much, everyone. We have, oh, this is a goat from the channel, The View with Drew. What's up, View with Drew? How is it going, man? Hey everyone, what's up? We're doing great. How are you doing, man? Toby said, yeah, whenever I speak Norwegian, I sound completely different than how I sound when I talk in English. Yeah, I never heard him speak in Norwegian though, but I would love the next time, man. Sunday, speak on Sunday
I
Norwegian. Oh, look at this, Julie. Drew said, just drop Julie a sub. Thank you so much, Drew.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. That's really nice from you, Drew. Thank you so much, man.
Hope you like book
Uh,
stuff.
yep.
That's all I
Um,
got.
No, but it's good. Like so point aside, and I'm going to you, Toby. Sorry. I noticed that I'm really glad that the booktuber community has really grown a lot because like I remember like at high school I didn't really see a lot of it was mostly teachers that were like talking about a book, but it was so rare to see like I don't
Yeah,
know, like people like
it's
I'm
definitely
not saying like they're not people. It's just like it was mostly like a job, but now it's like okay, like I can see like everyone could talk about a book, and but I remember like I had some friends that they wanted to talk about books, but they weren't sure if that would give you likes or people were interested. And yeah, I understand it wasn't like mainstream, and now I feel like I'm not gonna say it's still mainstream, but I feel like more and more booktubers are there, and there's a huge and faithful community of booktubers
yeah. I have
of
been watching
promoting books, man.
BookTube since about the time I read The Fault in Our Stars, so probably like
Oh
2012,
wow,
2013.
oh
It's
wow,
been a
that's
long
nice.
time. It's a pretty niche community, but I do think like I think since the pandemic, like reading has become more of
Yeah,
a popular hobby. So
yep.
I think if you see more people who are dedicated booktubers, but also people just talking about reading in general more.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's been there, but it's like you got to know what to look for, and I think the
yeah.
style of video that you see is definitely different from what it was, now 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, I know. Like, do you know Vera? I don't know if you know Vera. She's a booktuber.
I do not.
All right, so so you girls are the only two booktubers that I've known, and also because you talk sometimes about movies that are related to some books, so that
Yeah,
was cool. And yeah, so that's about it. Like because of Vera, I've seen that there's a huge community now of booktubers. I'm like, oh, that's great. Like that's great to see. Like there's like this huge um I'm not gonna say trend, but like you said, yeah, it's ever since COVID, especially like it's become more and more popular to read, and
yeah.
like, because you have more time now. Well, we had more time in
We
2020.
had
Now
more
we're
time
back
in
to
the
reality.
past.
Yeah, now we're back to reality. But yeah, So Toby said it's only 1 a 1:30 a. Nothing too crazy for the Norwegian Batman. Yeah, he's the Norwegian Batman. I think once we did a live stream. I think the guy went to sleep at 4 a.m. and he had to wake up like at 6 for school. I'm like, bro, don't do that. Batman.
Rough.
Roberto said, Oops, sorry. I got my first. I got my first book in years. Like right now, you said, like you this year you got your first book in
I'd
years.
love to know what the book is.
Yeah, let us know what the book is. Oh yeah, this is a question I wanted to ask you actually. So thank you, Drew, for this. A I have read books, mostly comic books, movies, but I have read other books. So I wanted to ask you, speaking of books, do you read comic books or mangas? Are you
I like here and there. It's not. I don't read them as often. I think there's been like I think I probably watch anime more than like I read manga
okay?
or anything like that. It's something that I just kind of have scratched the surface of, but haven't explored as much as I would like.
Yeah, I
There's
would
been a
go the
couple graphic
same.
novels here and there, but
Yeah, I would go the same. I think comic books for those on the chat. I think I said I only read like two comic books in my life. I don't think I've really read a lot of comic books. I did read a little bit more of mangas, but again, not that crazy neither. I think I watch more animes. In general, I always prefer to watch the adaptation than read it. But yeah, nowadays I kind of read it a bit more. But yeah, no mangas neither. I watch a lot of animes though, but yeah, I didn't read too much. Like probably Bleach. Yeah, Bleach. I read them, and that's about it. Maybe one Naruto, one Dragon Ball, and that's it. That's about it. So Drew said, before I got in high school, I read Silver Lining Playbook. Do you know that one? I don't
yeah,
know that
so
one.
that is a movie with Jennifer Lawrence and what is it? It's Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that's
Oh,
actually
really?
kind of an appropriate book slash movie for this for Turtles All the Way Down because that also has to do with I
Oh,
think
really?
he has borderline personality disorder. I'm not sure. It also talks about like mental health
Oh,
crises.
yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, I'm seeing a happiness therapy, right? Bradley Cooper and J Law. Maybe.
Yes,
Oh, I
yes,
didn't know about this one. Wow.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, thank you, guys. I'm going to save it. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Drew.
I
I didn't
haven't
know
read the
about
book,
that.
but I did watch the movie.
How did you like it?
Yeah, no, it was really good. I did quite like that one. It was a while ago though.
All right. Yeah, I'm putting it on my favorites. I didn't know about this one. That's crazy. Thanks. So Toby said I've been trying to get into books again, but my dyslexia is crazy. Huh? I do purchase books from movies. I have all the Dune books. I want to get the three. Whoops, sorry. Whoa, there's a lot of comments. I want to get the three, the Wild Robot books. Have you watched the Wild Robot, by the way?
No, but I'm going to. I
Oh, you
absolutely am
have to,
going to.
Julie.
I'm
Please,
going
please.
to love it.
I'm begging you, go watch
I
it, please.
know it looks so
Julie,
good.
I'm going to
I've heard it's like
transfer you
the
the
best
money if I
animated
have
movie
to go.
ever.
But
I
I didn't know it comes from a book as well, and now I'm kind of intrigued to go watch that, like
yeah,
to
I
go
think
read
it's a
that
middle
book.
grade book. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's a middle grade or if it's a children's book, but
whatever it is, I want to watch it. Like the images
yeah,
have to be insane. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, I
yeah.
think it's for
But
children. I think it's for
I would
children.
recommend if you are dyslexic. So my aunt is dyslexic, and she wanted to get more into reading because I talk about this all the time, and she does audiobooks a lot.
That's what I was about
So
to say.
audiobooks
Audiobooks.
help, and also on a lot of like reading apps on your phone or like on a Kindle or something like that, they'll have a specific fonts designed for people with dyslexia or like ADHD or something like that. So I think, yeah, print books might be difficult, but there are definitely barriers trying to be knocked down about that. So if you have, I don't know if Libby is out in I don't know what countries have Libby, but definitely check if your local library system has some sort of online book library that you can pull like audiobook and ebooks from.
Yeah, that's great, Rick. Yeah, especially I know at least here we talk mostly about audiobooks. I know that's one of the most like especially for people with dyslexia, that's one of the things they usually go to
Yeah.
audiobooks. They really recommend it a lot, I think, but I didn't know about the app, so that's great. What's it called? So I'm going to type
The
it
app
from the
that I
chat.
use is Libby, Libby. So it's also tied into the app Overdrive. That was, I
Oh.
think that's like an older version of it, but that it ties into at least like American public
Okay.
libraries. I don't know what countries. I know Canadians who use it. So it just depends on
Okay.
what your library system has.
So if they have in Norway, Toby, yeah, maybe you could try that one, Libby. Because yeah, I don't know for Europe, especially Northern Europe, but all
Yeah,
right. Well, thank you so much for those recommendations, Julie. That's really
for
nice.
sure. That's what I'm here for.
So I'm the comments, and then we're going to continue. So
Yeah,
guys, don't forget you can still send your comments. We're going to reply it after because we still want to move on also.
talk about the book.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So he said I read a lot of mangas back in the day, but it's now sitting on my shelf. But I do have a lot. So I did have some, but I think I gave them to two or three of my friends that I know they're really huge manga manga fans. So yeah. But yeah, I remember I do have a lot of how you call like children's book that I used to have when I was a kid. I still have them there. So yeah, they're sitting there. So I kind of know that feeling too, Toby. So you guys are gonna find me. You're gonna find this crazy. There was a time I was in eighth grade in middle school, and I read the Martian novel, and my aide was shocked that there was language and called it a swear book. Wait,
Yeah, there's some F bombs in that one.
really?
Yeah, for sure.
Damn.
I
I
mean,
mean,
if you were stuck on a planet alone by yourself, you'd also be swearing.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's why I'm like, yeah.
Martian's
Why?
great. I love Andy Weir. If you haven't read Project Hail Mary, and I know everybody knows about The Martian, but Project Hail Mary was his most recent book, and it is absolutely fantastic.
What's it called? Project? Oh,
Project
Hail Mary. Yeah.
Hail Mary.
Yeah. I found it. Okay. Okay.
It's
Nice.
fantastic.
All
It's a
right.
little bit like it's a little bit more high concept than The Martian, but very similar like emotional vibes to it. So
All right. So,
absolutely recommend that one.
all right. Thanks. I
Yeah.
would. You see, everyone. We have great recommendations here. You see. So thank you so much, Drew, for that comment. Roberto said the book is Astrophysics for People in a Hurry.
That's
I
Neil
love space.
deGrasse Tyson. I've read that one. Yeah, that one especially. I think I read that before I was in college and actually studied physics. So I think that one's definitely a fun one. Good choice. If
Good
you
choice.
like
That's
that one and you want some more nonfiction about space, I recommend The End of Everything in parentheses Astrophysically Speaking by Dr. Katie Mack. Absolutely, it's super cool, and it's about all of the different major theories about how the universe might end.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I like that. That's
And then
awesome.
I fully read the book and then found out she's been teaching at my university the entire time I was there.
Wait, what?
And I was like, what?
The author?
Yeah, no, I knew who she was because she's also like a science communicator online. So I knew who she was, and I knew that she had a book out, and I just
Oh my
didn't
god.
get around to reading it until I graduated, and I found out she teaches at my university. And I was like,
You-
"Are you kidding me?"
Are you gonna do like Ava? Like, you remember when she met her favorite author?
Yeah, no,
Oh my
I
god.
might. My sister still goes there, so I might just have to
Oh yeah, yeah.
go
Easy,
over
easy,
and
easy. Then. Yeah,
just be like,
exactly.
"Hey, office hours. I'm a fan.
Thank you so
Bipolar
much for that.
disorder."
Thank you so much for that, Roberto. So the viewer drew Bradley Cooper's character has a bipolar disorder. All right, I see.
Yeah,
That was for the movie
Silver Linings
Silver
Playbook.
Lining, right? Yeah. The viewer Drew said, I also read the Revenant novel. I actually read that one. I didn't finish it though when I was middle school. When did I read this one though? Yeah, it was like a few years ago, but I remember it was before COVID, but I didn't finish it yet.
Yeah,
Now you're making me remember. I have to go finish that one. Damn, man. Have you read that one, the
I
Revenant?
haven't.
No, I think it's from the. If I'm not mistaken, I is it? Yeah, I think.
Is that
If,
different from the Leonardo DiCaprio movie?
I think it's from that movie. I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure though, but I think so. So Toby has to go. He said, "Interesting. Never heard of it. By the way, I have now 5% on my phone, so I got to go. But I'll have a
see ya.
great rest the stream. And thank you so much, man. See you on Sunday, Toby. Thank you so much for being here, man, for chatting with us. And hopefully, Libby is going to help you, man. And thank you so much for sharing also like the your situation, everything. Like I said, here it's about respect. It's a safe place. You know, like everybody is the same and is treated the same way. So thank you, man. And finally, okay, I'm going to take the view with Drew. The only book I've never read are Twilight, 50 Shades of Grey, and that's me saving my own life. The,
I guarantee you've not read more books than two. There are a million books. I read over 100 books in a year, and there are many, many more books that are published that I'll never get to.
have you read those, like the Twilight,
No.
the 50 Shades? No.
Fun
Okay.
fact: 50 Shades of Grey is actually Twilight fan fiction.
No way. What?
It
Really?
is. It is.
Eh, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that. I didn't know that. Wow. Have you watched the movies?
No,
No. Nah.
I'm
It's
okay.
okay. You didn't miss too much. Yeah. It's okay.
No, I didn't think I would. It's
No.
not my style.
Yeah. No. 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 Yeah. I remember. I had to. I was kind of forced to watch Twilight. I will say the first one I did enjoy. The other was I'm like, why did I waste my time? So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd be
I will.
interested in watching the movie. I was a little bit young for Twilight, like the books. So I'm like, if I ever watched the movie, I'd watch like the first one or whatever. But I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'd miss the train, and that's okay.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So yeah. So now I wanted to go to the probably we already said it, but now it's gonna be a bit more structured. Like the good things of all Turtles all the way down. Like why do we like that? I remember I talked a little bit about the actresses. They were really nice. I think they carry a lot the movie. Like it was really
Yeah,
good. I also like. I think the. So I don't know how is it in the book, but this was so well done. Like the transitions about like Ava like with her with the, like her I don't know how do you call this. Well, she really is a. I always like to say she's like bacteriophobe, but it's not that. But that's the
yeah.
OCD, I guess.
She has a specific thought spiral around the bacteria C. diff,
Yeah,
that she believes that she is going to be infected. And so she keeps opening up this callus on her finger to check that it's infected, and all she's doing is, hurting herself doing it. And, even though she knows for a fact that C. diff is such a rare bacteria to get infected by, that
yeah,
you basically only get it in hospitals, that XYZ, it really kind of pushes the irrationality of the fears. And I think that book and movie do a good job of sort of having her have that conversation with herself,
yeah,
of knowing that the things that she's doing are rational, but at the same time knowing that those things that aren't reality are real. They are as real to her as everything else around her, and that's why we see the things that we see on screen.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing I really love about like every time. Like you can feel like the more the movie progresses, the more you feel this duality that literally it's like someone else is talking to her, and like you can really sense like the subconscious of her that is really trying to make her feel like no, this is this is like the bacteria stuff, and but she's like, yeah, but I don't know, what if I kiss him, it's okay, like I'm not gonna die about it, blah blah, but oh no, but yeah, probably has. So it was really interesting, and the how they managed to play with the cameras and everything, like you really felt that it's like you can understand this conversation of two same beings in the same body, and that was really nice to see this. I'm not really 100% sure how they pulled this off. Like I'll have to I should have rewatched it again, but I remember that it was just like whoa, it's like really being in her head, and like it was the point of view of her, and you can the spectator really felt that the point of view of that character. So I was like, oh, that's really cleverly
Yeah.
done, and that's where, and many times they pulled it off, and I was like, oof, every time they never felt it. So they
Yeah.
never they
And
never
that's why she's so obsessed with the idea of identity and selfness, because she can't separate herself from her mental health conditions.
yeah,
She can't separate herself from the OCD and the anxiety. And so she's just desperately trying to find, who is the person that I am? And
yeah.
is it these terrible things that people say are not normal about me? Am I nothing but my condition? Oh my God, where's the quote? I pulled up a quote.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. That movie has some amazing quotes, man.
oh, did I write down chapter 17? Okay. But the quote that I pulled was, I returned to a question Dr. Singh had first asked me years ago, the first time it got this bad. Do you feel like you're a threat to yourself? But which is the threat and which is the self? My kingdom for an eye. And
Love it.
it's so, I love
That.
like having that depersonalization of not being able to feel that you are real and that nothing that you do really matters
Yeah.
is so, it's such a harmful environment to be in. And I think it really translated well with the way that we see things invade, and like how she's using, the director uses camera angles to
Yeah.
show how insular her life is because she can't get further than her own body sometimes.
Yeah. No, yeah, like on that area, I think like I have nothing to reproach this movie. I'm like, bro, they really surprised me. Like, yeah, and I think, like I said, the other character that I really love was Dree. God damn it, what's the name? Why do I
There's
keep messing the
um
names? The actress name.
there's Asa, Daisy,
Well, I mean,
Davis,
yeah, Daisy, but yeah, okay, I'm just gonna say Daisy, but I think the actress name is Cree, if I remember
Cree. It
correctly.
was
Yeah,
Cree.
but yeah, Daisy also, she was really supporting there. I really love the line in the car where, by the way, this is spoilers, all right, everyone. Like now we're talking with spoilers. I forget.
Yeah, we can talk full spoilers
Yeah, yeah.
now.
So I remember that line where, because it was, yeah, it was interesting to see like the two perspective of two different people, right? One that she's like, hey, I've been supporting you for my whole life. Like I don't see you indifferently, but you don't support me. You know, you don't want to come to see my boyfriend's painting art. You don't even know my, like, you don't even know things about me. I know all of you, but you don't even know things about me. And the other who is like, yeah, but you don't know how it is to be like me, you know, like you don't know like if one day this and this. So I was just like, and that was really interesting. And that line, I think the actress, the both of them, they really pulled that out so well. But it
Yeah.
was nice to see this duality. But and she was such a good friend, like the supporting friend here was so great, and it was so
I
nice to
think
see this here.
the car scene is, it's the climax of the book and the movie, and it also is like, it feels like this is the pinnacle of exactly what the entire book is saying. You know, the relationship between Daisy and Asa is the linchpin of the book and the movie. I think the movie almost leans a little bit more away from Daisy than the book does, but that's because it's trying to do like plot things.
Okay.
Um, but like the conversation in the car is about verbatim from the book. Like very, very little changes, and it's because it is written so well. It is some of the
Yeah.
tightest writing in the entire book, and it just like perfectly shows how like both of these characters have messed up. Both of these characters have been in the right and have been wronged by the other person, and nobody's, and there, it's the disconnect of how like they have been just treating each other in one specific way and not really meeting in the middle despite how much they love each other.
Yeah.
And like Daisy, yeah, Daisy has kind of been neglected by Asa, um but Daisy has also been mistreating Asa in some
Yeah.
places. She's really not giving her grace about the things that she's going through. And in the book, like Daisy like forces Asa to like lie a lot. She's like putting her in uncomfortable positions sometimes, that she's just
Wow.
like, we see it in both, but more so in the book. And versus Asa, like she is not taking steps to try to be a good friend because she is so caught up in her own mental health crisis that she can't, she has the ability to do it, but she hasn't had really the impetus to show her, hey, you need to get your stuff together. Like this is harming everybody around you
Yeah.
because you aren't thinking, because you can't. And it's kind of like that recursive circle of like things getting worse, making things be worse. And having the car accident
That
is
got
the
worse.
rude awakening,
Yeah.
that she is not doing well. I will
Yeah.
say, I in the one detail in the book that it the about the car accident that isn't in the movie is, not only is she very attached to the car because it's her father's,
Yeah. Father. Yeah.
she has her father's phone in the car that she like opens and like goes through his
Oh.
papers and everything. And
Okay.
in the car, the phone's totally, in the car accident in the book, the phone's totally smashed. And
Oh
Daisy's
wow.
like, nobody cares about the car, it's fine. And she's just like crying over her dad's phone. That is just, it is so heartbreaking. And
That would have
like,
been nice. That would have been nice to have that in the movie.
that would have been, I think they were kind of like, okay, the car and the phone are similar enough
Yeah,
symbols.
probably. Yeah.
We don't need both. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it's, I, I was wanting to know your opinion as a person who has not read the book. You kind of
Yes.
touched on it, so I feel like your answer to this is yes. But like, did
Mhm.
you feel like there was a slow enough or like a steady enough buildup of Aza's like OCD taking over her life,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
did
for
you
sure.
feel like it
Yes.
was sudden?
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, at first I love the movie that they already pitch you. Well, not pitch you. They already show you that she has OCD, and it's kind of terrible because but you feel like it's terrible, but it might be just annoying. Let's say like that, and that's it. But then the more the movie progresses, the more you can feel that that's why she's so insecure, and like she has such these problems to decide because she feels that she's never going to be happy because she has OCD, and
Yeah,
she can't even kiss a guy or nothing, and the guy was so sweet with her, so
yeah.
yeah, so that's why like
It
the
was
more
debilitating. It was
yeah,
debilitating.
exactly. Yeah, literally. I kind of felt sad that at the end, but at the same time, I was kind of glad. I'm jumping quickly to them. I was kind of glad about that's a more realistic ending. But anyway, I was kind of sad about that. I'm like, yo, poor guy, man. The guy did all so much for her. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's part of life,
in the book, I think that because so many conversations have to be cut down, even though this is a short book. This is 270 pages with huge margins. It's a
Mm,
7-hour audiobook. That's small.
yeah, yeah.
However, we have to make a less than 2-hour movie. We have to cut something somewhere.
Oh yeah,
And
for
she
sure,
kind
yeah,
of has more of a thing with Davis, and she says like, "Hey, she is really afraid of not being enough for him, not
yeah,
being able to be present enough, because like she only really feels comfortable when she's like texting him. When she's
yeah,
in person with him, she starts thinking about all of these bodily things that are bothering her. And she says in the book, she's like, I don't feel like I am going to be able to give you enough. And
yeah,
he says, no, it's going to be okay. And then when they break up in the Applebee's, that's like exactly the thing that he's like, I need you to like me up close. And it's
yeah.
like she
I
she
love that.
knows that relationship, that it could have gone somewhere, but yes, it is a high school relationship, but
Yeah,
it did in some ways cost her,
yeah,
because she didn't take care of herself and listen to people who were trying to help her.
yeah.
But it's for the best. They definitely look on each other fondly, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. That's why I said
I
like I
Yeah,
like that ending because it's a more realistic ending. Like
it's
it's
very
not
John
like
Green. It's
yeah.
very John Green. I don't know if you've read or watched any of his like adaptations of his
I think I
books.
watched. I think it's Let It Snow, which Isabela Merced once again
Yes.
was there as well.
Oh, I didn't know she was in that. Yeah, that is a book that he wrote with two other people. So he has
I'm
five
sorry.
novels that
What
he's
he wrote
written.
for 200 people? What?
Hmm?
I'm sorry. What did you say? He wrote for 200 people. That's what I
He wrote
heard.
with he wrote with two other authors.
Okay, 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 yeah. I
Two other
heard
authors.
200. I'm like, whoa, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
I don't know how accurate. I feel like I heard that the movie wasn't very accurate to the book,
Yeah,
but I
that's what I heard too.
haven't
Yeah,
read
it's
either.
not very. Yeah,
But in of his five novels, all of them have like some sort of romantic pairing, and in only one of the books does the couple end up together.
wow.
Yeah, it's very much in the style of things, but they're also, all of these are high school relationships.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see, I see.
So
Yeah,
it's a little bit more realistic, but I think that like bittersweet tone of like coming of age, like this was a good thing, and then like we're growing up, is
yeah,
very on brand for him.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
I wanted to mention the like the build up. I'm glad that you saw a build up, because to me, I think I was looking for specific signs that were in the book.
mhm,
So one of the differences between the book and
yep,
the movie is like the number of times that like Asa and Davis get to hang out one on one and like have a little date, and she goes over to his house multiple times to like, and they have a little date. They'll watch a movie, and she kisses him. She kisses him on multiple occasions, and trying to get past this.
Okay.
And the first time she kisses him, she goes in the bathroom, doesn't find mouthwash, and she just rinses it out with water. And then the next time she like has to do a little bit more. And then the next time she swallows a little bit of hand sanitizer. And then the next time she like swallows several handfuls of hand sanitizer. And then we actually get to the hospital. And I think she stops herself a little bit earlier in the book than in the movie. I don't know how far she got, but like it was not like a very sudden thing. I felt like that specifically the hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
That kind of, it was shown escalation, but like we are shown it in other ways in the movie, how it's getting worse and how like she's stepping away from reality.
Yeah, because I think at first it starts with well, yeah, her just don't want to eat food or skeptical of the food because like there could be bacteria and everything. Then with her finger that she keeps popping and keeps bleeding, but it's still minor. You're like, okay, it's not good for your finger, but okay, it's just bleeding. But then yeah, it escalates with okay, she's trying to have this kind of, she's really relieved when she's with crap. Why do I keep bugging with the names? I was about to say Asa. It's not Asa. Davis. With Davis. So that's where you feel okay. You feel like the movie shows you that you feel like there's like a breather, about this, but no, but actually she's sensing more and more things that are like affecting her. Like for example, the kissing, and then she can't be too close to him. And yeah, the accident with the hand sanitizer and everything, that was well. Oh, but also I forgot the therapy. She didn't like to go to therapy. She keeps like pushing in that.
She was a little bit more like argumentative or like aggressive in the movie than I feel like she came across in the book. I don't know how, we don't like see her go to therapy that many times in either. It's more like referencing. She's like, yeah, I had a conversation with Dr. Singh that one time. But I will say, if you want to know the number one change between the book and the movie,
go ahead.
Is that the Northwestern plot is entirely made up by the movie.
Really?
Northwestern is not in the book at all. And basically, and this ties into what I think is the weakest point of the book, is that the book, John Green was trying to synthesize so many ideas that he had and like quotes he had from other people, because like this OCD is so close to home for him. It's like hard to, write the things that you're saying. And so when you see something, he's kind of inputting quotes everywhere and these ideas and anecdotes from other things. Like you see it in the movie when she talks about the parasites who eat the eyes of fish, or like when they're talking about the constellation that's far away, these little anecdotes. And in the book, it kind of feels like he's just stuffing things in there. And sometimes it comes up in unnatural ways. Like, why does this person randomly know this quote verbatim? Versus in the movie, what they do to remedy that is that they add this philosophy professor, someone who is an expert in the subject and would have these things offhand because she deals with it every day. So that is why they go. It's so they can talk about these different philosophical ideas. Like, for example, the turtles all the way down thing, that is the conversation that happens at the end of the movie with Daisy. That's where the turtles all the way down thing happens in the book. Versus now we're seeing it earlier, before her mental health crisis. From the professor.
Yeah, from the professor.
And so that also means that the excursion on the plane doesn't happen. That means that
was a lot. That was a lot, though. I'm like, how would you feel like how would you feel like a guy that you knew at summer camp invites you to his private plane? It's been like first of all, I think he texted you first, like, okay, how is it going, blah blah. I think it was the second or third night where he texts you already, like he likes your body, he's sorry, it's kind of sexting ish. And then like little you're going to a private plane with him. That I thought David was a bit
like it feels weird. It feels weird, and I wouldn't have done it. But but like in the book, that's not there. She just like goes over to his house and hangs out.
Yeah, that seems more more realistic, at least.
So
the private plane, I was like, okay.
It's a little bit of like, here's a fun visual thing for us to do. But it definitely does allow the philosophical ideas that he's trying to talk about to have a place and not feel like they're being shoved in. Which, like, that is my singular complaint about the book. I think the first time I read it, I don't think I had enough of appreciation for it because I hadn't like experienced things similar to Asa, and like it's been 6 years now since I read the book for the first time, so I had a little bit more of like sitting in, like I had a little bit more of a connection to her, I think, maybe just on this reread. But yeah, that's number one change. Number two, I thought the build up, like the hand sanitizer thing was done multiple times. The investigation of the billionaire that's like in the synopsis. Yes, I would say the proportions of the book and the movie are the same of how much this is the plot. Okay. But because the book is longer, we can talk about like the investigation more. Daisy runs a phishing scheme to illegally acquire the police, the report.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, I thought like if there's something that I want to criticize, the movie was probably the beginning because it was a bit long, like from the movie, of course. And the investigation, because like I watched this with my parents, so we were already hooked with Asa for sure. Asa, you're hooked with Daisy, you're hooked with what's going on to Asa. Of course, you want her to overcome this, but it's not something that she has to overcome. It's something she has to learn to live with, right? Yeah. It's not it's not a disease for her. It's just like, well, something she has, and she has to make it part of herself. Maybe that's the thing. Like sometimes we think we're not normal, and actually that hurts when people say that, and even when she said, I'm like, oof, that hurts, man, to hear that, to listen to others, that, because I'm pretty sure in life, unfortunately, some of them, of course, they feel that way, and that hurts too, because it hurts, and I remember I talked with my mom and even with my dad. My dad loved Isabela Merced. My mom was like, I liked everything, but the investigation part, like at the end of the day, what did the father suicide? I'm like, I think so. So it was kind of like just thrown there, but they never, like, the movie shift completely to something else, which I really enjoyed. It's just, I'm like, yeah, well, what about the father? And it's like we didn't care about it.
I think the book talks about it more times, and also the information is more difficult for them to find. Like, they actually go and try to investigate these things. Kind of the only investigation we see them do is looking for the camera.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. There are other things that they do in the book. Like, they go and look at what is this engineering company fraud going on. Asa has to dig to find Davis's blog. It's not just available online. Like, she had to look really hard to find it, and we read a lot of Davis's blog and feelings about different things going on in his life. They read the police report of how the family was doing. And like, she goes into his phone and finds, the notes about the jogger's mouth. That's like something versus in the movie, she is quite literally handed it. She is handed a piece of paper with it on there. And
so do you think the book did it better in that situation? I think so.
I think the book does the investigation better because it also Asa's main. So once they get the money, Daisy stops caring. Daisy stops caring because she only needed the money, and that's fine. That's what she wanted. Fine, and Asa in the movie also kind of stops caring after she gets the money. She like asks a question here or there, like, do you know anything? But in the book, she is concerned about Davis's brother Noah. Noah's like acting out at school. He's really not doing okay. She's really concerned about who's going to take care of them. So she is trying to find closure for these people. And that's nice. Her driving force for continuing to search for it. And yeah, there is a little bit of like a fizzle out because she is preoccupied by her OCD that she doesn't really look into it during that time where she's like in the hospital and everything. And then the reveal is a little bit different. So in the book, So in the book, they are down in the tunnels, and they walk to the mouth, and they end up like smelling something, and they end up discussing and figuring out that this is the jogger's mouth. They walk back, and they're like, oh crap, that's probably where the body is. We're probably smelling the decomposing body.
Yeah.
So they like tell just like that, they just like in the movie, they tell the brothers, and the police are called. Versus in the movie, they find the jacket and what seems like a suicide note.
Yeah, suicide
So
note, yeah.
it's the implication of the book leans that it could have been like exposure. Like, how long was he actually planning on staying out there? We're not really sure. Versus in the movie, they show different things. Like, it's not as gruesome because it's just the jacket. They suppose maybe he jumped off this bridge. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what we suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what the movie leads you to believe. So there's just kind of a different flavor, if you will, with either of those things. Like, what is the intention behind this guy running away? Especially because he is not leaving any money to his children.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Like, he's not a good guy. Let's get that very straight. He's not a good dude.
That's crazy.
And he's even
well, I mean,
worse.
he left a lot of money in Pop-Tarts, so at least that's something.
Yeah,
hitting in the house.
It's not exactly retirement money.
Yeah, I know. But so hearing this, I think I'm kind of they could, because I remember, yeah, Noah was like, you barely see him in the movie.
He's in like 2 scenes in the movie.
Yeah, literally, and you can feel like he's probably having something, and yeah. So I did feel that, yeah, Noah could have been more integrated in the story, because I think like there was room for him. You don't need a lot of him, but just a little bit. As for the father, yeah, that's where I was like, I kind of feel like that's why I was curious about how the book was, because I'm like, I'm pretty I'm kind of, I have the feelings that something is missing here, without like reading sometimes the book, you can feel like something is missing or something has been changed. I remember when I watched It Ends With Us, the same thing. There's one scene I'm like, I'm not sure this, and then I didn't read the book at that time. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is not in the book, or I wonder if they did this in the book. And yeah, and people told me no, it's not like this in the book. And here too, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure it would have been handled differently, because it's kind of weird. It's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, once they got the money, they didn't care. And I remember my dad had a theory at first, because, you know, you're in the crime, like, you don't know, someone had left. My dad was like, what if Davis gave, like, his theory was like, Davis maybe gave her money, so they stopped, like, you know, trying to see like what happened to him. You know, maybe he has something being implicated. I'm like, oh, if that's the case, that would have been cool. But I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's the sort of movie we're in. But yeah, I do agree that maybe, I mean, I don't know, was it even necessary to have like this crime thing? Like, it could have been just like she I don't know, the Davis just comes, and they could have met in other circumstances, I believe. So that's where I was like, I don't know if that was necessary, like, to have like this investigation, a crime thing, because at the end of the day, like, it was never about that. I feel like the story was never going to be about that.
Yeah,
was just like something
a backdrop.
to have.
It is not the plot. The thing is that, like, when you're explaining the book, like, that is what the plot is. That is like the events have to do with this investigation, but that's not at all what the book is about. And it is just kind of, it's set dressing, but there is differences. And I think there are conversations that are had, especially around the Tuatara, which I do remember the Tuatara, because it's not in the movie. They did not have the budget, apparently, to get a Tuatara in there. So mad we never got to see it. But like, they had like conversations about immortality and that sort of thing, and like that kind of plays into her idea of the self. And something has to go. You're making an adaptation. This thing would be 7 hours long if you try to do it verbatim. How are you going to cut it down? And like, if something was going to be sacrificed, it has to be this plot. And that's fine. It just means that it's a difference that I'm going to write down. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, people always have this misconception about, like, that's why this is what I believe, right? It's not official. It's just what I believe. But they have this misconception. I think people have this misconception that Because I think like every time you're going to adapt something, like you can adapt it fully. Like, and also, first of all, I don't know about you, but I don't want something to be as like A to Z. You know, like in that case, I'm just
Like
gonna
a
read the
one to
book.
one.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm just gonna play the video game, or I don't know, I'm just gonna read the comic book or the manga or whatever. I'm like, like I wanna, because like I wanna see the creativity of the creator as well. Like he's the one who's putting this. I'm pretty sure if you, Julie, adapted this version of Turtles all the way down, it would be different as well. Like it will be probably the same, but there will be some changes because you feel like, oh, this is more important for me. This in the book was more important than this thing. So and also, like as you said, you have to sacrifice sometimes, even if it's a show. Even if they would have done this as a show, I don't know, 8 episode show, you still have to sacrifice some of the things, and or you still, for you, for example, I don't know, this scene talks to you more, so you want to put more emphasis on this. So that's where I'm like, yeah, people have to remind themselves that, of course, adaptations, that's what they're called, adaptations. They can never be one to one of the book, because unless it's John Green that is doing
It's
his own adaptation, yeah, maybe, but yeah.
Even then, there's going to be
And
there's
even then,
very
yeah.
few books that like the movie feels like a one-to-one adaptation. The one movie that I can think is exact is The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and that is because it was originally written. The author of the book is a screenplay writer, and then made the movie. That never ever ever happens again. It's like so rare.
Yeah. But John Green was here. Like I think he was even an actor in this
yes, he is
movie.
the gym teacher.
Yeah.
He is the gym teacher. I believe they called him number 18 on set because he was number 18 on the call sheet, the very bottom.
Okay.
And let me say, is that the best take he had? Like he was like very clearly trying not to like laugh or like grin his face off while he's giving his one of two lines. It was so funny. He actually had so he wrote The Fault in Our Stars, and he had a cameo in that movie that was so bad it was cut from the movie.
Wait, from which Star Wars?
From The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh, okay, sorry, I heard Star Wars. Really, was that bad?
Yeah, it's in the like the DVD bonus scenes.
Okay.
It's like there's like a little girl who wants to touch Hazel's like oxygen machine, and he like it's like, oh no, don't bother her or whatever.
Oh my god, poor John Green. So no Hollywood career for John Green, it looks like, huh?
No,
maybe not now.
Other
Maybe not
than
now.
this, but I think he was I don't know. He has a little bit more jurisdiction over movies than like 95% of authors would. But there was like the audition process of getting the director, and Hannah Marks is the director of this movie, and she essentially sent him like an audition piece of how she wanted to show OCD, and that's where we get all the microscope scenes from. And he was like, that's it. And I think that the point of an adaptation is to bring a story into a new audience. And
yeah, exactly.
There is definitional things that you have to change. There are so many things in a book where a character has to have a thought, and in a book, in a movie or a show, it has to be an action. Like there's things that have to change just by the nature of the medium, that it's gonna happen. And some of those things I think are good changes. Like having the professor character. One good thing, I think the mom gets more screen time in the movie than she does in the book. Yeah. And I like some of those changes where we have like the familial ties, like those are things that like the director wanted to put a little bit of a spin on. And I think that was like wanting her to like live in the garage, and Ace is like, I don't want that for myself. That's like a conversation that was inserted there. And like having that spin is great. And I think that she did a very good job being faithful to the book in a way that a lot of people who are handed a book adaptation don't care to do. And she was very aware of like, this is a sensitive and very personal book, that she wanted to do it justice. And I think she did a very good job.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I heard something. Yeah, I heard you just say what. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. So no, but honestly, yeah, I think Yeah, that's why really it sucks that I couldn't find it. I don't know why. Like, so when I wanted to find it, it was kind of hard to find Turtles All the Way Down. So
Yeah.
once we got, ever since Turtles All the Way Down, stream on Max, and
Mhm.
also it ends with us. Like all the libraries that I know, like
Oh,
they
oh, the
rent.
list
Like
is a
yeah, the
million
list is
miles
like the
long.
list. Returning this month, this month. I'm like, bro, like oh my god, everything is. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy the book. So it ends with us was a bit easier to find it, but Turtles All the Way Down was a bit harder to find. So I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that kind of sucks. So that's why I wanted to come here, like no,
yeah,
already reading the book, but it's fine,
yeah.
And
I
I love
signed
that cover.
first edition.
It's damn. That's oh my god. It's signed.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
that's
crazy.
he. I did he start that? I think he started that for his third book. One of his books. He's signed the entire first print of the
Wow,
book.
wow,
And then when his books became so popular, he had to like limit it. But
wow.
yeah, he has signed so many books that Sharpie sent him his own Sharpies, like
Oh
with
my
his
god,
own like personalized thing on there.
that's
But yeah,
crazy. Oh my god, John Green. That's crazy.
he's a guy. He's a lad. If you don't watch his stuff on YouTube, I mean, he's one of the OG YouTubers. A lot of people aren't familiar with that. John
No,
Green,
I
the
didn't know about that.
author, is
No, I
John
didn't know.
Green of Crash Course, of
Damn.
VidCon. He is one of the like founding YouTubers
Wow.
along with his brother Hank. They make up Vlog
Yeah, they're the
Brothers.
Green Brothers. Yeah.
Yes. So they were then the inventors of VidCon and then of Crash Course.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
SciShow, lots of like podcasts and educational type stuff. And now they do a lot of humanitarian work, specifically with tuberculosis and then maternal health.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been following their stuff for a while. Good dude. Good dude.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah. He looks very chill. Like I see the photos of him. I'm just like he looks just chill, and I'm like, wow. Like it's yeah. He must have really yeah. You can to him like writing this book, and also I think that's one of the things I'm really proud of this adaptation. Not reading the book, I can sense that they really tried their best to adapt it as faithful as possible, and especially with the
Yeah.
love of what it meant for him. So that's why like I yeah, it was really one of the best movies I watched this year. Seriously, I was like, whoa, I
Yeah.
didn't expect that, and I was
Honestly,
like, ooh,
say
yeah, for
I
me
I
honestly,
have
yeah.
not watched enough movies this year, but this is definitely up there.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I think that this is if you haven't watched the adaptations of his other stuff are great. I particularly like the Looking for Alaska TV show, which is on Hulu.
Okay.
And I do think for me as a book lover, a TV show is the preferred method of adaptation. It's probably going to have a little bit of a lower
Depending.
budget, but
Yeah.
being able to um, like spend more time with the characters and kind of have more of a chapter based structure, I think it really did the work a service. And I know that one's a little bit. I know there are a little bit. There are fewer change. There's some changes in that one, but it's
Okay.
been so long since I read it that it just felt identical. So
Looks good. I never heard of this. Looking for Alaska. Okay. That's nice.
that was his first book.
Yeah.
I believe it won the Prince. I believe it won the Prince Award and then the Edgar Allan Poe Award.
Nice.
Big deal. And it is one of the most banned books in American libraries and schools.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh.
it's a YA book that deals with like teen sexuality and like mentions of
Oh,
drugs
okay,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
queer characters and stuff like that. And so people have a problem with it.
Oh,
And yeah, it's John and the five major publishing houses in the U.S., along with some notable authors, including John Green, are currently suing the state of Florida for the amount of book banning they're doing.
wow. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I don't know Florida's policy, but yeah, I can
it's
understand John Green. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can understand John Green. I think he's there's a big difference. I think that that's where people are afraid, right? There's a big difference where you want to like the newer generation, you want to make them self-aware of situations that happen in life and can happen to you and happen to us. Versus, yeah, I understand others that say, yeah, sometimes they want to do propaganda, blah blah, which I don't know. Like, you really have to really pay attention. You have to see who's the author, what is really their intention. Like, when I don't know, you look at John Green, I don't see a guy who wants to do propaganda necessarily. I don't know. It doesn't give me that vibe. So I don't know.
No,
No.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
really about that.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, this it's anyway. Back to the movie, but
No.
yeah, acting I thought was really spot on. I particularly thought Cree as Daisy was a highlight.
Yeah.
I thought the set design and the locations were like basically what is in the book. I mean, like the White River
Yeah.
and everything like that. I think they did a really good job just conveying that and just
Love
a
the
lot of
hair. Love their hair. The
the
pink.
hair,
Does she has that in the book? Yeah.
the pink streaks. Yeah,
Yeah. It's so nice. I'm
yeah,
like,
it
wow.
looks great. It's
You
very
you, you
iconic.
get you get so attached to it.
Yeah, and I just I it gets two thumbs up for me as a book adaptation, even if I can pick out a ton of little changes. But I
That's
think
nice. Yeah.
as a person who is interested in both book and film, I like picking apart those changes and like finding out why this change had to be made. Why was
Yeah.
this? What was the driving force between any of the changes? So yeah, I good job,
Love
Hannah
that.
Marks.
Yeah, she really deserves the credit for this. By the way, I was about to ask you a question, and actually, you kind of touched it a little bit. I was curious. Do you feel this movie Turtles All the Way Down should have been, first of all, in theaters instead of a streaming movie? And actually, the other one was like, should this have been more a show than a movie? But I think you kind of touched a little bit. But I'm gonna re-ask you the both questions. Like, first of all, should this have been more? Should this have been in movie theaters? Because I know OCD things. I don't know if people are so eager to go immediately to the movie theaters. I know right now we have some,
Yeah, I
let's say,
don't.
problems with mainstream and streaming, but I personally felt like this one should have been in the movie theaters. I
Yeah, I
personally,
think that this would have
because it's kind of
had.
important for me. It's kind of
Yeah,
important.
it didn't like this would not have had the same like box office hit that The Fault in Our Stars had, but
Yeah.
like he has the fan base that it absolutely would have done at least like somewhat well in theaters and like going to like even more of like the niche like not like widespread market like going into like places more like the artsy film stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean like as a person who I had to get a trial of Max to watch this movie. I would have loved to have seen it on the big screen. I would have seen it at opening night.
Yeah.
But like if it's the difference between the movie not being made and
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
and it being made,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll take a streaming service. And I
Oh no,
think
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, me
that's
too.
like the good thing about streaming services is that there's kind of more outlets other
Yeah,
than the theater for something like this to get made
yeah,
because it isn't a flashy movie. It isn't a sweeping romance like The Fault in Our Stars was, and it's not riding off the back of the success of The Fault in Our Stars like Paper Towns was when that came out in theaters. Um, but so yeah, I wish that it wasn't on like such a like restricted platform, um, but and it could have gone to theaters, but I'm just glad it's out there at all.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, me too. I wish, yeah, for sure. I wish this could have been at the movie theaters. I think, like I said, um, if not in movie theaters, I wish it could have been in Netflix then, because Max is kind of restricted. For example, we don't have it in Canada, so we need to, in order to have Max, we need to have Crave, and Crave is like a cable, but you kind of need to buy a cable just to have that option of Max. So it's kind of complicated for
Okay,
nothing.
weird.
Yeah, we don't have that in Canada. We don't have Max in Canada, so I can't. For example, we had a live stream of Uzumaki, which is
Yeah,
a horror anime. I don't know if you're. I think I was about
I'm
to ask you.
familiar with it. I've not read it, but I'm familiar.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't read it. It's too dark.
Yeah,
But we started the anime, and it's really cool. And also that's in Adult Swim, which Adult Swim it's Max, so we don't have that. So luckily
yeah,
there's other ways. And yeah, so but yeah, so that's why I was like, because for me it's like when your movie is at the movie theater, there's more chances that people will discover it instead of Max. I feel like Turtles All the Way Down is kind of niche a little bit, but luckily for me, I discovered that it's not that much because on my channel, so I started this last year. It's a project that I do. It's like so I love football or
Mhm.
slash soccer,
Yeah.
and there's always like World Cup tournament, and they always have like a format of 32 teams. So I was like, why don't we take 32 best movies of the year that
Yeah.
people have voted? And I was so surprised to see that in the month of May, the most voted movie was Turtles All the Way Down, like on top of Furiosa, like other big IP names
Oh,
that
what
came in the movie
really?
theaters. So I was like, oh my god, that's cool, great. That's why I was even more excited to watch Turtles All the Way Down. I
Yeah, I
really
think
love that
it's
people
mostly
really
been like a
supported.
word of mouth campaign.
Exactly, yeah.
Like
So
even as a person who's like actively into John Green's stuff, like I get advertised for other things that he does all the time because they
yeah,
have like companies, they have like the coffee company that donates the profits to fighting TB, that sort of thing. Like I get ads for that all the time. I don't think I got advertised for the Turtles All the Way Down movie. It's just like
yeah,
me talking about it and other people
yeah. Me, it
talking
was
about it, getting someone
if
to
it
watch
wasn't
it.
for Isabela Merced, I didn't know. And then when
Yeah.
people the word of mouth, then it's where I'm like, oh yeah, and it's good. I'm like, oh, that's even better. So that's why because I think since it was on Max and Max is not that popular, but all due respect to Max subscribers, I don't think it's as popular for sure as Netflix, for example. So that's why I was like, I wish it could have been on Netflix or Prime, for example, who have more budget first of all to advertise because I think Turtles All the Way Down had only one trailer, for example. So you see,
Yeah.
the
It's
advertising is not on top
yeah.
neither. So
I
yeah,
mean, like Max has got they've they've got some they've got Game of Thrones. They have
I know
they
that.
have it they
I know.
have The Last of Us, you know, these huge big budget things. Yeah, I think because it wasn't a thing that was like filmed for Max,
Yeah,
and it was a smaller budget movie, you know, it didn't need to be big because it's
yeah,
not a big scale. It's internal. That's the whole thing.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah,
but it definitely I'm glad that this is getting the attention, some of the attention that it deserves. I know that John definitely talked about he didn't want a second The Fault in Our Stars
yeah,
because the amount of attention that he was getting was like way too good. Like as a person who has mental health conditions,
yeah.
he was really uncomfortable with the amount of attention that he was getting, and he like didn't really in like that was harmful to him. And he was like, "Hey, it's on a streaming service. I don't have to like go do press junkets, like that
Yeah.
sort of thing." I'm
No,
like,
yeah. In that case, yeah, I
yeah.
understand. Yeah, yeah,
So that was not his decision at all.
yeah,
But like that working out in it, allowing it to be for more of an audience that is interested in it rather than an audience that like might not get it or expect
yeah.
something different from it. I there's always pluses and minuses with like where you slot that sort of thing.
So you see, I have it here. So number one, Turtles All the Way Down for me with 80% of the votes. So that's a lot. That's a lot. You had then Furiosa. I saw my TV Glow, which I didn't watch this, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at number 4. So
I see my
incredible.
Flow. That was also a Max thing. When I had my
Yeah.
Max subscription, my Max thing for 1 week, they give you a 1 week free trial only if you have a subscription to a different service. So I
Really?
had
Mm.
Prime. So we have Prime,
Uh-huh.
and I like clicked on the thing like let's get the the Max free trial, and it turns out that it used an old Prime account that we don't have anymore. So I had to pay the $8.99 to have two Prime accounts to
What?
get this free trial. So
What
I
the hell?
actually
So it
paid
wasn't free.
$8.99 for a free trial.
Free trial. Eh? The
Free
free is.
trial.
I
Yeah,
love the
that's a
free trial.
strong
Well,
word.
at least you have. I don't even have a free trial here. We don't have Max at all.
Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
so frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a. I don't know why Max is not international. That's what I never understood. Why they didn't do that. I mean, like they wanted to go in the streaming war business, but they're not international. Like Apple, it is. Prime, even Paramount Plus, for freak's sake, even Paramount Plus that came way after everyone. They're international. Like so, I don't know.
Nobody has Paramount Plus.
I don't even know what's in Paramount Plus. With all due respect, like
I could
Transformers,
I could not
Teenage
name
Mutant
them.
Ninja Turtles, and that's about it. That's what I know about Paramount. Oh, they had Halo, but apparently it flopped. So
Not surprised.
Yeah,
What is on Paramount Plus?
I have no idea. By the way, what do you have? I have Netflix, Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I
we have.
used to have Prime, but I don't have it anymore. And I used to have Crunchyroll, but I don't have it anymore neither.
Yeah,
So
I've got Netflix and then like the Disney family of Disney Plus, Hulu, and I guess it some sort of version of
okay, us
ESPN.
in Canada, once you have
And
Disney Plus, you have everything together: Hulu,
yeah,
Stars, and
all of
Disney
that
Plus. Yeah,
stuff,
it's
and then
together.
Prime. But it's like it's all across my family, so we're all like splitting the burden.
Yeah, yeah, of course, because
No,
it's
and
getting
then I got
expensive.
Peacock so I could see the
Oh
Olympics,
yeah,
and now I've
that's
kept
another one we
that
don't
for
have
like
here.
2 weeks because I'm trying to, for like 2 months because I'm trying to finish Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh no,
Oh,
that's another we don't have here. We don't have Peacock neither.
yeah, because it's the national broadcasting channel. It's
Yeah,
NBC.
I heard
So
that they're going to rebrand maybe Peacock, because it is true. When I hear about when I listen Peacock, I don't know it's from Universal. Like,
yeah, it is the streaming service of a specific national broadcasting. Well,
yeah,
it
but
is.
the thing is, like, nobody knows. Like, they're like, yeah, because it's our symbol. I'm like, yeah, but I don't think people know your story, man. To know it's the symbol of
Yeah.
Universal. I don't know, maybe Universal Plus or whatever. But yeah, everybody has their own thing. But
We're
so going back to
slowly coming back to cable.
yeah, yeah, I
We're
know.
slowly just becoming cable again.
Yeah, yeah, too much streaming at this point. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I've been
But
trying
coming
to
back,
get to it where it's like just do one streaming service for 1 month, do a different one. Just to go
yeah,
through all the things that I like in one thing and then cancel it, do a different thing.
yeah, true. No, yeah, yeah. I mean, the one I'm always faithful. It's Netflix. Netflix was the
Netflix,
first. They're always there, and they
yeah.
give me some good stuff. They cancel some good stuff, unfortunately, Netflix, and they give me some season twos like when I don't when I forgot about the show, but
Yeah.
they're still there. So thank you so much, Netflix. But honestly, thank you, Max, because like I said, they saved the Turtles All the Way Down. It wasn't supposed to come out Turtles All the Way
Yeah.
Down because they couldn't find someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Max, for that, because again, nice movie. And yeah, the other question I wanted to ask you was like, yeah, I said like, do you think it should have been a series? Do you think it would have benefited better from a series, or a movie was actually perfect like that?
I think I think that this movie was sufficient. I don't think that it necessarily warranted being maybe if it like limited series like 4 episodes.
Yeah, 4 episodes. Yeah,
Something like that. Like it did not need to be it would not have to have been much longer than this for it to be like my perfect adaptation, quote unquote.
yeah.
I think the movie was sufficient. Um I love a TV show though. I not a strong answer on that one, but
I
I
mean,
don't think it didn't miss that much.
yeah, I mean, the movie is so well done.
Mhm.
Like, for sure, I didn't read the book, so but based on what you're saying, probably I would have done maybe a show, like a 5 episodes, just to fill maybe some of, for example, Noah, like for some of those little storylines. But again, I don't think I need too much. So yeah, maybe 4 episodes of 45 minutes could have done the
Yeah,
trick, maybe.
it's
So
that's what's like really common right now is the like maybe 6 episode TV show.
yeah,
I think that's how long was Looking for Alaska. It wasn't very
uh,
long.
8 episodes.
8 episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that one has a little bit more of like a plot, like
yeah,
of people moving around doing things, like a larger cast as well, than this one. Like The Fault in Our Stars movie adaptation makes sense.
yeah,
That length makes sense. Is it going to cut a little bit short? But I think this one, it didn't have to be much longer, but I would have loved to see even more and like the director have as much time as she wanted to do every single thing she ever wanted. Um,
yeah.
I think there can be a little bit of freedom in that way, but then you also err on the side of, oh, are they going to add things? Are they going to add something? And sometimes those adding things are good, and sometimes they're weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I don't
But
know. I
yeah, I
think
think at the end of the day,
yeah,
I'm gonna stay with my movie. But if it was a TV show, I wouldn't have been mad about it. And if it was in movie theaters, I would have been a bit happier. but we
Yeah.
got what we got, and actually, I'm proud of it. And for the next section, I was about to tell you, well, how much would you give this out of 10,
Out of
or out of 5,
10?
depending on
Out of
what do you
5.
want?
Okay.
I don't know. Do you do 10, 5?
For book ratings are pretty standardized at being a 5-star
All right, so you
rating.
can go with five stars for the movie
I
then.
gave the book a 4.5. I really do love it. I have so much of an emotional attachment to it, but I do think sometimes he goes into like a little bit more stilted, like not like flowing as much with those quotes, like I was talking about before. And I think the movie, I would give it the same rating. I think it does a lot of the same stuff, and it just changes the format of things in ways that like it balances itself out. There are things that it changes that I think are a good thing. There are things that it changes that I wish they would have kept, that sort of thing. So if you want to round it up, I'll give it a 5. I really it is one of the best movie experiences I've had this year. So
Nice. Yeah, we'll give it a yeah, probably 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, probably.
4.5. So
Like I
that
said,
means a 9. It's the same thing.
yeah, well, yeah, we'll go with a 5, I guess. It's just because for me, the only thing I had some little problems was probably the investigation. I felt like a bit cheated on that sense because, like I said, I love reading books about investigation, and of course, one of my one of my genre that I love a lot in movies is, of course, always enigma movies, mystery or thrillers and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
this was kind of there too. So that was the only one where I'm like I could feel like the approach could have been just let's go
Yeah.
straight to the point.
And
Like,
I
hey,
think
like there's someone
there's
facing
some
this. And
yeah, I think there's
but
some points at which there's like two things that make a good adaptation. Is it faithful to the source material?
Yeah.
And does it stand on its own?
No.
Because you need to be able to translate the things, and when you cut things, you have to make sure that everything is still tethered and makes sense. And I think the investigation is kind of where there are a couple of things here and there where I'm like, if you have not read the book, you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
for example, the song that the mom sings when she's in the hospital, that's not explained.
Nope.
There's a couple things like here and there that are just like sort of like more nods to the book, and like for people who have read the book
Okay,
that
that's cool.
kind of have little pillars here and there that are being knocked over. But yeah, I was very pleased. I was a little worried, not
Okay.
nearly as much as some of his other stuff, but I think that it did his job, and I think that's way more than I can say. I've been trying to make my way through some book adaptations this year, and that's more than I can say for a lot of the ones that I've watched this year.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I gave it like if I just base myself on a movie standard point because yeah, I would have probably give it like I said like a 4 probably, but because I know this comes from a book from the adaptation, that's why I give it like 4.5 out of 5 or
Yeah.
let's go with 5, because I think like based on what you're saying and everything, although there's some differences, I think they pull it off so well. And
Yeah.
like we said, like it could have been way easier to do a show, and they did a movie which is more complicated even to do that because you have to
Yeah.
sacrifice so many things, and they pull it out. Like even the weird things, like for example the plane, it was kind of funny. And
Yeah.
like even though like it does have nothing to do with the book, it was funny at the same time, or at least it has this conversation. Oh, that's kind of weird, but like in a fun way ish. Of course, if something happened, that would have been fun, but like
Yeah.
so it was like it keeps you in the conversation, it keeps you intrigued, and so it was really nice. And the actors were great, the environment, I love the shots, really well shot. I think they really use a lot of colors. Like the colors in this movie are so well used, and starting with the protagonist, like the main characters already, and then like the environment and everything. Like I don't know if they put a little bit of, I don't know if in the image they put more colors or that was like that, but it
Yeah.
was a really nice use of colors. And also that kind of speaks like she's kind of in a colorful world ish, but she's not really colorful inside. Like she's kind of,
Yeah.
so it was cool to see that. I'm like, that's really nice. So yeah, I really had a fun time with this movie. Seriously, I highly recommend you to everyone to watch this movie. I think it's well, if you would you recommend the book first or the movie for someone who has
I
never
always recommend to read the book
to
first.
read the book?
Always,
Okay,
always.
good, Julie, good. So you heard it from Julie. Read the book first and then watch the movie because yeah, I think you're going to I'm pretty sure there's gonna be something for everyone in this movie. I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
For sure.
And yeah, of course, it's a very personal movie, but I think like I mean, it will touch you in any
Yeah.
ways. So yeah. And yeah, and speaking of that, well, first of all, it's been like whoa, we're almost like 2 hours here. Yeah, I'm keeping you a little bit, and I'm gonna keep you just a little bit because I wanted to. Well, first of all, before we end up the stream, like I want to first of all to thank you for coming here to take the time to come here and to also give your advice, give tips, for example, for Toby. That was really nice of you. And also, well, first of all, I wanted to for you to tell everyone like what's coming on your channel. I know you have like something for October. Like I saw the big line before the stream. I didn't watch the video yet. I didn't have
Oh
time.
yeah,
But,
no,
like,
I was like, can I get it up before the stream?
I was trying to get
Yeah,
up like something before
yeah.
stream. I'm like, no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow.
But yeah,
yeah.
thank
So
you
can you
so
tell
much.
us like what's coming on your channel, where to find you, of course, and everything. So I'm
Yeah.
going to leave you the room for you, and I'm coming
No,
back.
but yeah, again, thank you so much for having me. I am at Julie's _ reading. My tag is right here on YouTube. If you'd like to, my links are all there, but if you'd also like to find me on Instagram at bujo.books, bujo.books. I do content all the time just about all the different books I'm reading, which I read all types of books. I love fantasy the most, but I read just about everything. Upcoming on my channel, I just posted my October TBR, my to be read, a lot of the books that I want to be reading in October based on a game. So there is a readathon, is a challenge in which you're trying to read as much as you can in a certain amount of time, and there's a monthly readathon going on that is you choose your books based on a Monopoly board. So I did that, and in October I have a fun reading vlog coming where I am going to have Goodreads, which is the most popular book review website. My friends on Goodreads choose what books that I read. So the most read and most loved books, according to my Goodreads friends. So got that coming up. And yeah, I do book reviews. I do recommendation posts and videos. I kind of do that more on Instagram, but I'm definitely going to try to bring it over to YouTube now. And reading vlogs, just me going about my life, talking about books as I'm reading them. And yeah, that's the type of content that I'm up to. It's a fun thing to do when you can make content out of the stuff that you've loved your whole life. I've been watching Booktube since I was little, so being able to do it myself has been fun, and getting some people following me and like getting the feedback is a nice change. So yeah, that's my little piece. But yeah, if I have, do I have another comp title for this book? I don't know. I think if you enjoy Turtles All the Way Down, I do think you should read John Green's other books. I'll try to think of another book that I can come up with that would be a good comp title for Turtles, but it's so of its own that I love it.
My bad. I kind of got up on your stuff. Sorry. I wasn't sure. I'm like, should I leave? Should I? My bad.
You're all good.
My bad. But yeah, thank you. Yeah. I know you do a lot of things on your YouTube channel, and that's really cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. And I was about to tell you, are you like a fan of horror? Like, do you read horror fiction?
Yeah,
But yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you have.
My favorite book, my two favorite books of all time are Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which is a classic that's over 100 years old, over 200 years old, and Bunny by Mona Awad, which is a literary classic. A literary horror that is about a girl who is in a master's program of creative writing, and there is a group of girls who all call themselves each other Bunny, and they seem to have this weird like relationship with each other, and she kind of gets sucked in to their crazy world, and it gets strange. But there is so much like metaphor behind the horror that it's absolutely one of my favorites. So I love a little bit of everything, but horror has definitely had a soft spot with me lately.
Oh, nice. I like that. I was about to also ask you. So, if you had the chance to, like Asa, sorry by the way, I can't afford a plane. Just to let you know. But if you had the chance, I don't know, like, uh, yeah, if you had the chance to meet someone like an author, who would it be? Like, if you had the chance to meet them, and what would you say to them? What would you tell them? Hey, what's up? Where would you like that to be as well?
I genuinely, John Green is the author that I'd like to meet.
Yeah, John
Just
Green, nice.
because I like because I know him outside of his books.
Okay,
I would love to meet him. Um, I would love to meet Mona Awad, who wrote Bunny.
yeah, Bunny.
She just has a way of like her the way that she writes is so unique and evocative that is I would just love to have a conversation with her. I've gone to some of her like book events, but just like have a conversation with her. Um, man,
Nice.
those would be probably two big picks lately. Also, RF Kuang. RF Kuang's a very, very intelligent woman. She's written some pretty popular fantasy lately that is like historically inspired.
Okay, nice.
That those would be pretty cool. Those would be my choices.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Thing. That's cool thing. And where would it be? Like in a coffee shop? I don't know. Playing some sports. I don't know. I have no idea. Making a video game.
Something casual like a coffee shop would be just fine. I don't need to
Yeah. All
invade
right. I
privacy.
have a crazy plane. You know, a private plane.
Yeah.
No, that's too much. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I don't know. I was just interested in that. I always ask people that because I don't know. I'm always curious about that. You know, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
based on curiosity, and also like another thing. It's like, have you ever thought of Julia's ever thought of writing her own book one day, or a fan fiction? I don't know. Like, is that something that you have in mind, or
I
maybe
was
you would see that one day for you?
um that would not at this phase of my life. I've liked writing. I formed the creative writing club at my high school. So I
Wow,
did
that's
write. I
cool.
was like
That's
best
great.
buds with the creative writing teacher. I would always like write
Nice.
over what the assignment limit was, but like I've never here's the thing, I've never really written like long form stuff.
Okay.
I've written like short stories and I think I've always just kind of been waiting for the thing. Like reading's always been my hobby and I enjoy storytelling and kind of dissecting storytelling. So like reviewing has been something I've been doing for forever, but actually like writing my own stuff, I get very critical of my own stuff and I just start editing what I'm
Yeah.
writing. So like in the far flung future it's a maybe, but I would say
Okay.
that reading is and storytelling is the passion overall.
Okay. Okay. No, I was just wondering. Like sometimes we
Yeah.
like to do the jump, but yeah, I understand. And anyway, it's not a jump. It's just like sometimes like we take another path and we like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of curious about that. But no, but thank you so much for sharing a bit of who you are, your
Yeah.
passion, especially. Like I think everyone could feel your passion for books and for
Thank you.
this movie as well. And yeah, it's always it was really nice to have you here. Seriously, like I was a bit nervous to be honest because I'm like like it's the first time here with a booktuber. I'm kind of scared, like I won't be talking so much about books and everything. But no, actually, it was very interesting. You were very nice, very
You.
heart welcoming, and yeah. And
Thank you for
also, I just
having
wanted.
me.
Oh no, Julia, it's not the first time. No worries. This is your platform, and whenever you want to come here, you're more than welcome. I also wanted to thank you so much for everyone who has joined the chat. Also, thank you so much for the ones who sorry. Thank you so much for everyone who joined the chat. Thank you so much for the ones who left also their comments. I'm talking about Drew, about Tony. I know my friend Roberto was here to the two Argentinians. I'm sorry. I know. Next time I'll try to do a little bit of both. To Luke as well. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Gracias, tout le monde. Thank you so much, and of course, thank you so much, Julie. So like she said, you can find Julie on her Instagram. So don't forget also to go and subscribe to her channel because she has a lot of content related to books. She's a booktuber, of course, but also she doesn't do only books. Like I know sometimes, like
Yeah.
especially your daily routine. I know that's where you mix a little bit of cooking, a little bit of
Yeah.
your daily basis, also Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. So there's a safe space to be there in a cool space.
Yeah.
So yeah. So with that, we're going to end the stream, everyone. So thank you so much once again. If you're here or if you watch this after, thank you so much. Don't forget to leave your like if you enjoy this. Don't forget to subscribe to both the channels. That way you support us, and also tell us a comment. Like tell us what is your favorite book or the book that you like, the book that you hated. We're gonna read everything. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Julie. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Oh, by the way, what's coming on my channel? So I was forgetting about the host. So quickly, tomorrow I should probably tomorrow or Wednesday maximum I should put our reaction for Uzumaki, the first episode. And we're going to do the watch along for the second episode. By the way, Julie, you're more than invited if you want to come watch Uzumaki. So basically what we're doing, it's during the 4 Sundays that are coming, we're going to do a live stream where we're going to react to the newest episode. It's just 4 episodes. It's very
Gotcha.
short, but it's a horror, but very like massacre horror. Like
Yeah.
it's very effed up. But yeah,
Yeah,
you're
no,
more than
I've
welcome.
I've seen I've seen what the manga looks like. Yeah,
We're
no,
talking about
I'm
Junji Ito.
familiar.
We're talking about Junji Ito. He and
Yes.
Satoshi Kon are probably the two manga creators that I know at least. That yeah, if you don't understand what you're looking, that's probably the best. Yeah,
Junji Ito, it's
yeah.
intense stuff.
He's intense though. Yeah, he's
Intense
intense.
stuff.
So yeah, you're more than welcome. And also, yeah, there's going to be others that probably will join the stream. But of course, we're going to be me, Fritzky, and Toby as last week. So yeah, so tomorrow or Wednesday, Uzumaki reaction is coming. Also, I'm going to try and do a reaction of a subscriber. Actually, was on the chat. He suggested me to react to. Actually, I can't wait for this. It's called Flow. It's probably so this is probably the animation movie that probably will win the best animated movie the Oscar next year. I don't know. It's a wild contender from Denmark, I believe. So it's
Mhm.
about a cat. I just seen pictures of a cat and a dog, and it's they don't speak. They don't speak at all. It's a movie, animated movie where nobody speaks, but it's really good apparently, and
Yeah.
it's going to compete against Inside Out 2, The Wild Robot, and many, so many animated movies to choose, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
difficult. So yeah, so that's probably going to come up on Thursday or Friday, and yeah, and Sunday. See you for episode 2 of Uzumaki. So that's for Jason Entertainment and for Julie. Take care, everyone, and see you soon. Peace,
Yeah.
everyone. All right, let's see. Let's see.